Hey everybody, welcome back to the Unreal Engine live stream. We're going to be talking about Streamline today. Joining me is Seth Sivak. I hope I said that right. Probably not. Sivak, cool. CEO of Proletariat. And we're going to do a little bit of actual game playing today with people from chat. This is a Twitch integrated game, so it should be a lot of fun. But before we get too in depth with that, I have some news. So, pow. Cool. First thing that's up is I have started unlocking more badges for everyone to earn. So on the forums, there are quite a few different kinds of badges you can earn. I now have a page of a complete list of what those badges are and how to earn them. You can find this under General Discussion, Badges and Titles. It's a sticky up at the top, but it lists everything, Answer Hub Sage, Contributor, there's a ton of them. And the Prestige badge, which is a new thing that we've added, is people were earning certain badges over and over and over again. And so I wanted to find a way to reward that by, just more incentive. So we have new starred golden badges, which is pretty nice. And it even tells you more about some of the special badges you might have seen around that aren't really publicly available, but at least tell you what they mean. And also we have a list of titles and how many points, post count you have to have in order to get to them. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. I know quite a few of you are probably wondering, hey, where's my badge? I am still going through the backlog, Answer Hub, Sage, Engine Contributor. If you are missing a Prestige badge, though, feel free to ping me. I'll probably just go ahead and jump to you and get it done with. But just want to let everybody know, new badges. Cool. Next up. All right, 4.13 Preview 2 is now out the door. It has 150 plus new fixes. Stephen Ellis has a nice breakdown of everything, of course, here on the forums. Every single new fix between the last one and the current one. Oh my gosh, it's like its own little release notes. There we go. So, it's quite long. A lot of stuff in there. A lot of crash fixes. Tons of tightening up, and each preview is going to be like this. We're really cranking through these things. I've seen the charts. They're going just like the bug lists are going down. Everything's doing pretty well. So 4.13 is looking like it's going to be pretty decent. So try that one out and tell us your feedback. Next up. This is the Renegade program. So we had highlighted Midnight Star Renegade on the Unreal Engine launcher in a past stream. But they're having a tournament now, the Locked and Loaded Renegade tournament here. So what's going on here is you want to go to renegadeprogram.com/locked and loaded. You can sign up to it if you want to get in on this, or you can watch. But the prizes that you can win are pretty cool. Unreal Engine's throwing in some prizes too, so you'll get some swag from us. But this is kind of interesting. Serge Tankine, I probably messed up his last name, but he's from System of a Down. He's actually going to be throwing in some swag too, and so is John Scalzi. So there's actually a couple of pretty interesting names throwing in extra prizes. If you're one in on this, that sounds pretty cool to me. So jump on it. All right. Next up, the Indie Mega Booth at PAX West 2016 is going to be featuring a bunch of really good UE4 games. So drop by the Indie Mega Booth, check out our UE4 games. We've got Astroneer in here. We've got Abduction, which is right down here. We've got Redout, Solitarica, Empathy. There's a ton of cool games in here. Abduction there. So, yep, tons of great UE4 games. So if you're going to be going down there, definitely check them out. They're really cool. Wow, so many games. All right. Now last off in the news, this got sent to me kind of last minute from Paradoc. But the Baltimore DC area meetup is happening. So if you want to go check that out, it's going to be at Nottingham's in Columbia, Maryland. That's going to be on August 23rd, 7:30. Check it out. If you're if you're up in the Northeast, I think Maryland's pretty small, so just the surrounding area is how they're kind of doing it. The DC region is how they're saying it. So go check it out. Cool. Next up, we have our community spotlight. So every week we like to highlight the top 3 karma earners on our Answer Hub. You guys are the people who go out there, you find problems, and you try to help people solve them. And now I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more heat, because if you've gotten Karma Earner of the Week 3 times, not in a row, just 3 times ever, you get the prestige badge. Shadow River already has his, but I have to go through the list more. But this week we have Shohei, 685. Wow, nice job. Shadow River at 190, and Expose at 170. So thank you guys so much, and to everybody else. I can see how the competition's about to get pretty fierce. So please, come on and try to help people out and see where you can get with Karma. Next up, another tutorial series by Strigafo. So he's been on here before, and I'm just gonna pop this open so you can see what it looks like. But he's been on here before with another series. Ads, yay. But, oh wait, they're down here too. Ha! So this one is more for basics or fundamentals of 2D platforming games. As you can see, there's a series of them. I think he just put out his 21st in the series a couple days ago. This is an ongoing series that's still going with more and more and more stuff. Each one is broken down pretty simple, like system-wise, like here's one system, here's another. So if you're trying to learn Paper 2D, if you're trying to make 2D platformer, definitely check these out. It's a lot of good, just fundamentals. Great tutorial series. Like I said, it's pretty big too, and he's still going. 20, 21. Wow. So yeah, 21 in total right now, but this was just a couple days ago. I'd expect to see more, I think. All right, next up, I have another tutorial series for you. It's actually more of an entire channel. Warren Marshall. Some of you may know Warren already because he used to work at Epic, and he went indie and went independent and into the world and did his own thing. And he's still bumping back here to the Unreal Engine every now and then to do a tutorial. He also does art tutorials in general. I wanted to point him out to everybody because he's an expert in the field of being an art guy, a tech artist, everything. He's been through the industry in the AAA for quite a while. So I would take any advice he has to give. Check out the Warren Marshall channel on YouTube. It's Warren Marshall Biz. Cool. And also, I'm gonna try to get him to come out to one of our Raleigh meetups to hang out. Just throwing that out there. And the last thing I have on here is Purgatory. So Simulation Games Manufacturer sent over their trailer to me, which I thought was cool because it's a 360 video, which I can't like grab, but I can at least show you it here. But oh great, no, I turned off 360 mode. Anyway, 360 trailer. It's really interesting when you actually have proper 360 mode turned on. There's a Steam greenlight going, and the demo is available for download here on the forums. So please, go on Steam, give them a little bump, and check out their demo. It's a creepy little game. It's a fun little horror experience. I like them. I love scary games. So please come check these guys out. And anyone out there who's got a game that's just gone on Steam greenlight, you've got a demo out, you want to show it off, send me a ping. I'm gonna keep trying to keep up with everybody. I'm getting a lot of messages right now about spotlights and whatnot, so just keep sending them, and I promise I will get back to you as soon as I can. All right, cool. So we've got a trailer to show everybody, and then we're gonna jump back and start talking about Streamline.
This is great. We got a good group of players here. Bunch of folks from our community.
Oh, shit.
And El Petry's in the game as well. I don't think I've played once with El Petry. Oh, gotcha, Soul Digs. Oh!
Sorry, Kayla.
No, Soul Digs, right as slot.
Slow-mo, get out of here.
All right, so lock in your bets. You got a minute left. And let's vote on some fun mods, guys. Let's see some moon boots. Let's see some maybe concrete shoes. Let's see some lava floor.
Oh no, it's nerfed! You guys are the worst for giving me nerf.
Oh, it's 2 for 1!
Later, Brinkley.
Pentakill!
Brinkley was spoon-fed the win and opted out.
And that was it.
cool. Awesome trailer. So Seth, I think that you're in game now.
Yep.
I'm gonna jump in the game. We're gonna talk about the making of the game while I attempt to play it, which is gonna be interesting because I'm the hunter, as it is. So let's see here. Make sure
Yeah,
I've
this
got
will be
it.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. This will be kind of tricky. Oh, my bad. Let me pop that back up. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go to the betting phase.
Yes.
So yeah.
So I think
so-
everyone should go to streamote.tv and place your bets, and it'll kind of give you a feel for the viewer interaction side of the game. So the game, I think, as was mentioned before, is made to be Twitch integrated. So it's we really wanted to make a good game for basically broadcasters that like live streamers to play with their audience, and so that was the major motivation behind putting this together. And it started as a prototype that we wanted to do, just explore what Twitch integration would look like, and then it, as good games tend to do, it just got fun quick, and so we kept going with it.
Wow. Yeah, it looks like it looks like it's definitely built for maximum interactivity. We're watching our chat right now. The second I turn this thing on, of course, the Steamote bot shows up in chat, says, "Hey, come over here and start betting." And then all of a sudden we're just getting full up on bet here. And Katatis is just killing it with 1600. 584. Wow. So yeah, he's pretty popular in our in our chat, I believe. But yeah, so please tell me, like, what is Streamline exactly from a gameplay standpoint?
Yeah, so it's 16 player, sort of like, I guess, like an arena kind of action battler game. But as you mentioned, like you're sort of it in a big game of tag as the like broadcaster. You play the role of the hunter. All of us, the people that are getting bet on right now, are runners, and their job is to go around the map and collect as many points as possible, and then avoid you. So our job is to basically collect these glowing point orbs and stay as far away from you as possible during that entire time. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do right now. If anyone that is playing, if you see an exclamation point above your head, it means that the hunter can see you, so you should run as quickly as possible.
Oh wow, yeah, and this the action is just so intense. I see that you incorporate a lot of air control in the movement. I can really glide around and then take control with sprinting. Was that was that an early design decision?
Yeah, the like movement stuff was something that we thought like felt good like right away. So it was something that we wanted to keep, was sort of this idea of just like, a lot of people kind of refer to the game as this like as like a 3D like Pac-Man, which I guess it kind of is, where it's like sort of Pac-Man with parkour. And for us, like, that was really fun. Like the movement speed, like especially right now, some of the rules that are activated. We have like Yakety Hill on right now. That makes everyone 30% faster, so it makes it like even more crazy. But yeah, we wanted to have like the movement and like the feeling of speed really in there. And the game originally started as kind of like this sort of like hide and seek, version of like parkour, like hide and seek. And that's kind of why we kept a lot of the movement stuff the way it is.
Yeah, I can definitely feel the parkour with the wall running and all the double jump. This just running up to an object, I'm automatically like flying over it, which is pretty intense.
Oh no, crabcore.
Oh no, what's happening? Oh no, it's oh, I see. I can only go sideways. I haven't had this one happen yet. Okay. Oh, so sprinting isn't very useful. There we go.
Not during crabcore, no.
Oh wow. So when did this go into beta?
So we just went into beta like last week. So we are in the process of trying it out with a bunch of new broadcasters. We had a few last night, and we have like more coming in all week, basically trying it out for the first time. And so that's where we're at right now. And so we're hoping, we've been in alpha for a little while. Like one of the challenges with this game, trying to figure out like what a stream first game really feels like, was just like get out there and test it as quickly as possible. So we've kind of been in like a closed alpha for a while now, and so we just went into beta last week.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we've entered sudden death. So now other people could technically eliminate me, huh?
Correct. Yeah. That means that there's one person left if there's more time left.
Oh, okay. So how is a winner selected here?
So whoever has the most points at the end. So I'm currently in the lead at the end of this round, but I think it's because I know a lot of the tricks for maps like this one.
Yeah, we did a test run, but that was about it, just to get everybody oriented earlier. So I think I think it's you and me with a little bit more experience.
Yeah, I think the biggest tip I can give people is they should use their boost when they're going through like big points, because the boost will give you 5 times the amount of points. So if you boost through those big point globes, they'll be worth a lot more. So I think that's the key to be scoring a lot. But yeah, like when you get into sudden death, we want with the objective of making this game like not only fun to play but like fun to watch. We wanted to keep rounds really short, and we really wanted to have this feeling of like broadcasters, sort of like the idea that you're all sitting on a couch together passing a controller back and forth. So we wanted matches to end quickly and like to let people get in and out of games, so that you could play a lot. And like talking with the actual streamers themselves, like they want to play with as many of their like viewers as they can. So they wanted matches to be quick, and so that's why we sort of went with like the 10-minute time frame for a match. So you'll play 3 3-minute rounds, and so you'll enter sudden death if it goes to 3 minutes, or if there's only one person left with the hunter.
Oh, I'm trying to get you right now. Is that you? Yep. Oh. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. That it's a good kind of balance.
Oh, there you go. You got me.
You were difficult though. You really know how to work that wall running.
The floor is lava.
Oh,
yeah, you
no,
go faster
floor
on
is
the
lava.
wall.
This is definitely my favorite one so far. Is floor is lava. It harkens back to being a little kid. Oh, I got stunned.
That was part of the fun with this game, is just kind of like coming up with like those rule changes, like Wolf Among Us and Floor is Lava, the 2 that are active now, was really like, just kind of thinking of things that would be really, really fun and understandable for people to play, but that like, can have a good like change to the rules of the game. So, and so like you can see that one of those, so Floor is Lava was deployed by an actual viewer, where Wolf Among Us was voted on by people on stream mode.
Oh wow. So, do we actually get to? We also get to see it was 100% of the vote went to something, or 50% of the vote went to it. So you actually get an idea of how the community feels about stuff. Oh, everything's glowing red. I should get out of here, shouldn't I? The arena's getting
so
smaller.
the map gets smaller. Yeah, and that's really to just try and make the game, get the game closer to the end, both by either get smaller by time or number of players left.
Well, this guy, whoever it is hiding so well. Oh, wait, no, that's a ghost. Where are they? So, yeah, this is like crazy fun, and I can see the design choice here to make it smaller. Oh, I see you, Matthew. I see you. I also see that a lot of people have chosen to play in their underwear today.
It is a very common, very popular choice, for sure.
Do you have any other skins for it coming up? You got like the heart boxers, any classic like that?
For the actual underwear, I think I saw at one point more different types of underwear on the list. I'm not sure where we're at with those yet. But yeah, we have a lot of different outfits, and that's like kind of one of the big pieces. One of the interesting parts about making a game like this is that for the most part, people are playing this kind of in front of an audience. So customization, I think, matters a lot more to people than it might in some other games, where like they're definitely like the primary use case for this game is to live stream it, and so that I think for a lot of people means that they want to look cool, they want their outfit to be cool. So
okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you guys have a lot of that planned. I've already checked out. You can see I've customized my character with a top hat, all white suit. I really love the customization options that you've incorporated into the game. So this is a very Twitch heavy game. I'm sure that you've had quite a lot of experience at this point reaching out to Twitch streamers and trying to get them to talk about the game, get them into it, and break into that whole side of things. What was that like?
Yeah, so that's definitely, I think one of the hard things about making a game like this is to effectively like even just play test it. We need sort of like we kind of need this to be out in the wild with broadcasters using it with their community to like test a lot of the viewer interactions and a lot of the things that go on there. And so that very much meant that we had to reach out to broadcasters. And initially it started pretty slow. It was like really hard to do, and like Twitch was helpful in we kind of talked with them and asked for some help, and we were like, hey, can you connect us with some broadcasters that like this sort of thing. But it turns out that like the streamers are very protective of like the types of stuff that they show their audience. Like they want to make sure that their audience is going to enjoy it, and they're worried about anything that might not be as interesting. And so what we found is the right thing to do is to find good broadcasters that match what your game is all about. So we looked for broadcasters that primarily played on PC, that played some independent games, and they focused a lot on playing with their audience, like with their viewers, whether it was through Subscriber Sunday or like some other method. We just reached out directly to them, and we were just kind of patient. Like, it can be really hard to wrangle those folks, and so that was primarily what we did. But once you kind of get a few broadcasters interested, it spreads like wildfire. Like, that community is really small, and they share everything with each other. So we get, whenever we do a playtest with broadcasters, we end up getting a few other ones that sign up because they hear it or see it or find out about it from other streamers.
So it's a very organic way of advertising yourself, is to just let people play it and show how much fun it is. Kind of like today too.
Yeah, exactly. It's and I think the broadcasters kind of see this as, and like, they want more games like this. They want more games they can play with their fans, because it's very much, for them, it's a that's what their viewers really want. Their viewers want cool ways to interact with the community and with the folks in that they have watching. So
Yeah, that sounds like that was probably your main inspiration, was the community there then.
yeah, absolutely. Like, it was, and that's been part of some of the most fun stuff to learn about is watching the communities as they watching the way they play the game and how they do this. And it's been really fun to see. Like, I kind of underestimated, I think, how these communities remind me a lot of, like, when I played a lot. I was a very, very big into World of Warcraft, and they really feel like MMO guilds. Like, they're spending hours a week hanging out together, and oftentimes playing a variety of different games together, and that's very much what it feels like. And so it's been really fun to work with those communities and see what they, each one has its own flavor, and that's been really cool.
Oh yeah, I can definitely get that feeling when I go into other Twitch channels. I'm kind of used to ours and the people in ours, but every time I jump into Paragon, I can see there's these cultures that build in around the personalities, around the games and whatnot. So it's kind of cool to see that interaction, isn't it? And also through that, I'm sure you see a lot of gameplay changes. Like, I think you had told me earlier today about kind of emergent gameplay, things that people are making up to play along with this in their individual communities. Can you expand on that?
Oh yeah, that's always really funny to watch. Like, the streamers are really trying to put on a show. They're trying to do something cool, and so they one of the broadcasters would just like do this hide and seek thing where he would have everyone run to the middle, and they would all like dance for 10 seconds, and then he would start like eliminating them. And another broadcaster that we just did a playtest with recently, who I absolutely love, like, he does this thing where before he starts betting, he makes each person that's currently in the game he gives them like 10 to 30 seconds to tell them to like basically make an appeal to the audience as to why they should bet on them. And that is so funny. Like, it's always like, it's always really, really funny to watch that and see how they end up doing it. And I'm really interested to see what they would do if we gave broadcasters a little bit more control, if we gave them more control over things, like with the game modes and with how they want to structure it, and kind of doing custom stuff, because I think they totally would. Like, they're trying to find ways to make new, interesting content. So like, giving them that opportunity, I think, would be really good. That's something that they've talked to us about wanting to.
Yeah, I could definitely see if you give them like an inch, they'll take a mile with it and like just run off and make their own like insane little mini games out of it. I'm sure, especially just like playing this, I can already see how it would be just so much fun to, in our chat just before we start one of these, maybe have everybody make a case for themselves, like being the greatest warrior or whatever, or support me because you guys like my game more. Yeah. You
have all these. You also get these alliances forming where they're like, "Oh, you should bet on one of us because we're going to work together to make sure one of us wins," and so you have a better, at least you have a 50-50 shot rather than a 1 in 10. So we see all sorts of stuff come out of that. That is really funny to watch.
Yeah. And what as like a viewer, your incentive is to bet on the player, and then you get points in return for betting on the winning player.
Yeah, so so all of the points basically go into a big pot, and then whoever bet on the player that ends up winning, that pot is split based on the amount that each person bet. So that's the way you end up getting it. We've talked about some ways of doing additional betting like that. That's a lot of people have like asked us to do more stuff with it, which I think would be really cool to do. So I think it might be something that we try, which is to add some. additional modes for betting and things like that. I don't really gamble all that much, so like I don't really when they bring up some of this stuff, I've like never heard of it. Like I don't, but it does sound like that is something that I think adds. It makes you really care much more about watching. It makes watching more exciting because you have some skin in the game.
Oh, definitely. I mean, just being able to alter the match at all is entertaining, and then having just that extra bit of you get a reward for kind of being as a part of it. So that's definitely an important design decision when you're working around Twitch. That the audience likes to participate. I know that the audience in our stream definitely likes to get shout outs, so knowing that your bet might have, been the winner, it's gotta be crazy. I can't get up, I'm trying to get you. Oh no. So the arena's gotten pretty tight, but there's a few people left alive, and I can't seem to jump myself up to... There they are. Yeah. There we go. Wow, the verticality of these maps is fantastic. Oh, can you talk about the level design when you're coming up with a game that's this fast?
That's yeah, it's been interesting to try and design maps like this. A lot of the focus is on the sort of process starts with kind of talking about what we want the key focal points and like the long lines to feel like, sort of like the running lines that you're actually doing. And that's a lot of that is we sort of settled on a few different mechanics that we really like things like wall runs, especially compound wall runs where you like jump from one wall to the next wall, feel really good. So we've tried to like set up areas where that's going to happen, or like doing a series of moves all in a row where you like Kong vault over something, then slide under something, then jump onto it. Trying to create like these point lines that actually set up this sort of like flow state where like as a runner, like you're trying to avoid the hunter as much as you can, but you're also trying to kind of set up this precision platforming feel, and that's been that's kind of where the maps start. And so we start by kind of laying out a few of these key things. We try to look for some big showpieces, some big things that people will remember as far as like where the lines are. In this one, obviously the big robot at the front is pretty big, but also the way we set up, there's a running line along the back wall that's like across there's like 2 billboards and it goes across the middle, and it's worth a lot of points, and you have to like boost across it, and then you can jump down to the other side. It's like a big horseshoe. That was like one of the showpieces. So we start with that, and then we sort of gray box it all. We do a bunch of play tests on that, and then we start to put in the art, and there's like a lot of iteration all along the way of just trying it out and seeing how it feels, and making changes to the number of points, like where the boosts are. So for this map in particular, the interesting thing about this one, we actually put all of the boosts, all the like stamina stuff, on the ground floor, but all the high value runs on the top floor. And so the idea is that you have to keep dropping down to collect boosts and then go back up to like get the high value stuff, so that you're constantly going up and down, because you're really vulnerable on the ground. But we also didn't want people to just like sit up top and never actually come down, because then it's really hard for the hunter to get them.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see. But when you've got a lot down here, also with the game modes like floor is lava, and then all that, it can actually become crazy difficult if one of those is activated, where it limits you even further, or if you're having a hard time walking because you have spring feet.
Yeah, pogo. Yeah, pogo is pogo can be a real tough one when you're trying to actually pick up one of the point orbs or a stamina, because you just keep jumping over it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see people getting eliminated from being out too long. Oh no, we got the... Yeah, we're I love this slow-mo. This is interesting. So this is like a full, everybody's experiencing at the same time slow-mo, which is always interesting. Yep. In multiplayer games, you tend to have to avoid doing slow-mo or time manipulation unless you're going to do it to everybody. So. Oh,
yep,
wow.
This is a crowd pleaser. People love slow thugging for sure. It's something that viewers really like to watch, and it ends up having some really cool, I think, moments when you're kind of doing it. But yeah, I mean, in this particular map, was really fun to do because it's based off of the convention center at PAX East, and so that's always really fun to do. So we're a Boston-based studio, and so we went over there in the fall, and we took a bunch of our level artist, environment artist, took a bunch of images over there, and we put this together for when we show the game at PAX East, and so it's been a lot of like this map in particular was a lot of fun to make, just because when we were on the show floor there, everybody kind of recognized where we were, and that was that was great to see. I was glad that people noticed what it was. So.
Yeah, I'm sure like when you start seeing the world in the game is the one around you, got to be pretty intense. And then I'm sure people started wandering around trying to look for stuff that they recognized too. Whoa. Yeah. So what are your primary takeaways? Like, what's the biggest piece of advice you could give to anyone else who's gonna look into Twitch as a Twitch integration as part of their game?
I would say it's definitely worth thinking through. Like, I think a lot of developers right now are kind of underestimating like what the kind of communities and the opportunity that like Twitch really has for us, because they are in a lot of ways. A lot of developers see this as, hey, like this is part of our marketing. That's like all we should care about. Where in reality, like there's like a shared entertainment experience that happens on Twitch. And the more you can think about like how you want to embrace that, how you want to get viewers involved and get, and it doesn't necessarily have to be as intense as what we've done here. I think like, we have viewers actually altering, altering the game. That I don't think that's necessary. Like the other key piece that viewers do is they can play games against each other. So bingo, based off of like what the hunter, like what the broadcaster is actually doing, is incredibly popular with viewers.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like any game can benefit from that. Like any game could have a viewer versus viewer game that is context relevant to like what the broadcaster might be doing. And same with betting, right? Betting works on a lot of games too. So you don't necessarily have to like make it so that viewers are altering the sort of balance of your game. But I think finding ways of thinking about like, okay, like how is my game going to be streamed? Like how are people going to make content with this is really important to do from the start. And I think what I would say is just like think about that early on, because if you try to tack it on at the end, it's going to feel tacked on. And then like, broadcasters may take a look at it, but if you can make an integrated experience that like helps them, like their objectives, which their objectives are to engage their viewers more and to grow their community, right? So if you can build game mechanics that allow them to do interesting things, like letting, the viewers help them on their way to like, whatever objective they need to do, like that sort of stuff, then they will like to play it more. So that would be, my advice would be to think about it early and try to find a way to like integrate it into, how you expect your game to be played.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that it would be easy, just like regular multiplayer in any game, to tack on the multiplayer second. It's got to be built for Twitch integration in some ways from the beginning. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's definitely and for us, like the ability to bring a lot of the interactions outside of chat. So like a lot of the stuff like in Twitch Plays Pokemon and all that stuff up until now has all been based on chat, where people, and like broadcasters don't love that because it means that no one can chat in their chat anymore. And so that was one of the reasons why we built Stream Mode, which is like what everyone's using for that. And like the whole goal there was, hey, we want to do interactions that are a little bit deeper than what can be done with chat commands. So that meant that we had to build a controller for viewers to use, which is what Stream Mode really is. And I think that kind of points you in the direction of like you should really think about how those interactions are gonna feel in your game before while you're still in the design phase, not when you're like finishing it up and getting ready for like marketing and release.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. I think Aller just eliminated himself. I see him over there. But all right. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Slow Thuggin. Oh, he tricked me. You see that? I got so tricked. So, yep, good work, Aller. You made me think that you had sacrificed yourself for a second there and turned it around. And those are the kind of plays that I love to see in a big online game like this. So now that like you said, you had to build. Actually, let's talk about that for a second. You had to build a whole website that, the one that we keep putting up here, but you had to build a whole Stream Mode website to kind of integrate this together, and that's a whole separate team, isn't it?
Yeah, we do have like a good chunk of the team that is just working on that side of it. It definitely feels very much like a second game that we're building. The kind of viewer experience, and that's been really interesting to do and important. It's very different from game development, like building a like scalable web page that can work with like a lot of concurrents all interacting on it and doing the various things that need to happen there. And so that's been really cool and really fun to do, just because it is so different from your typical like game development stuff. But it also, I think, points to, you know, the cool thing about the tech like this is that, you know, we've rolled out and released some of our other tech, like kind of open sourced it as part of building Streamline. And you know, we've been, you know, interested to hear from developers, like if they would want to use Stream Mode. Like, are they interested in getting their games to have betting and bingo and voting on Stream Mode? And that's something that we've been considering as well, because I think there's a lot of opportunity for devs to really integrate and do cool stuff that could use some of these interactions. And it's, you know, a big way that people are consuming games now. They're watching them and they wanna just like, you know, have that role. And so it's been really fun to like make Stream Mode. It's definitely a challenge. It is like, I think if we realized how much work it was gonna be, we would have thought harder about it. So I think that's probably a lesson learned, but it is it has been really cool to do.
So that sounds like a pretty interesting idea, since you've already built it yourself, kind of opening it up sort of like a service, is what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, like, you know, seeing if like developers want to integrate it, and you know, and basically the actual tech on the dev side is pretty straightforward, as far as, you know, sending events that you would probably normally be sending to your dedicated server, and then, you know, for things like betting, right? It's like, hey, like a match has started, letting people place a bet and then telling us who won when it ends. So that stuff is pretty straightforward, and we're interested to hear like if devs, like if that's interesting, like if this is something that developers would want, as far as, you know, having a way to integrate these sorts of interactions.
Oh goodness, yeah, it looks like the people here started figuring out pretty quick how to get into some areas and do everything. Whoa. And I'm starting to have a really hard time dealing with them, because they're very good dodging me now. There we go. It was better when you guys were terrible. Oh yeah. So
we found that people do pick up the game pretty quickly. It's actually like pretty nice to as a game to demo, like having come off of our game prior to this being like a more complicated like strategy tower defense game. It's been nice to have a game that is like a little bit easier to like explain in a like prototype playtest setup. So that's been good.
Oh goodness. Whoa. He's trying to get me. That's what it is. Oh, there we go. I had to get some revenge on Aller right there, a buddy of mine, like to mess with me. And Katatis. There you go. It's a supremely satisfying feeling. You guys have designed that one hit to feel like it's pretty solid. Also, I have a very large radius, it would seem. Oh.
Yeah, so one of the sort of reservations that a lot of broadcasters have about playing games with their viewers is that they'll get trolled all the time. Like they don't, you know, or that their viewers are way better at games than they are. And so like, you know, some of them have like tried, and then they're like, yeah, it's like really embarrassing and not fun for me when like all my viewers are way better at games than I am. And so that was like part of the inspiration for, first of all, like the asymmetry in the game is, okay, like let's just make the hunter like super powerful. And then also they're not really part of the game, right? They're not on the leaderboard. You can't bet on them. They're sort of there to facilitate, you know, they're very much like there to facilitate the game being fun. They're not really there to compete. And you know, and then we also just wanted to make it like feel awesome and super powerful to like play as the hunter, which is why you have like a long impulse and the auto aim that helps you to catch catch those runners. And really a lot of that is also just because we want matches to end. We don't want you to be able to basically just indefinitely like hide from the hunter.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to keep making this area a little bit smaller. And I can also see how strategically on the outside you've made it easier to get up. And so as it comes inwards, it's actually harder to get upward mobility as well. Oh, there you are. Ah, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, this map has a lot of definitely a lot of vertical. You know, and some of the we have two other maps that are out right now, and we try to make them all have sort of a different feel. So we have a playground one that is a little bit smaller and more open, so you can actually like see across the whole map and move across it pretty quickly. It has these large seesaws that sort of change some of the runs depending on like which way they're facing. Then the other map we have right now is like a shipyard sort of like docks that we're calling Long Wharf, and that was really fun. It's got like a ship in the middle, but it has like a water hazard where basically if you get punched into the water, whether by a ghost or another runner, you're eliminated. And so that adds like an added degree of difficulty to it. So you have to be like mindful of if you're over near the water that you could end up getting eliminated from the game without even needing to get eliminated by the hunter. So.
Oh goodness. So do I have to be sprinting to eliminate someone now?
So right now during nerfed you can't. What you can do is knock points out of them, and you can knock a lot of points out of them. So you can punch them, and they'll slowly shed points as you hit them. So.
Oh, so this is more of the just being a jerk phase. Got it.
Yeah, you've been nerfed, so what you can do is you can eliminate their points rather than eliminating them.
Huh.
Ice level was really fun because everyone knows about those crappy ice levels that get shoved into games. That's why we named it Ice Level.
Oh yeah, oh I love that. That's such a great name for it. If you ever make one that's like it's like you instead of jumping you hold like spacebar to move up and down, and it's like swimming. It's like the always required or what is it? What's the word I'm looking for here? Like the completely necessary underwater level that we had to include because.
Yeah, it's we had a mode like that originally in like the early game that we called Superman, and it was just like so broken. It was hilarious, but it was just like it's like that. It's things like that make level design incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're like, all right, now you can't. In a map like this, it's not too bad because you have a ceiling. But in a map where you don't have a ceiling, it's like, oh god, like how do we handle that? But yeah, no, it's really like coming up with the names for like the rule changes and stuff like that has been really fun because it's sort of like those types of things are sort of party games, so you can be really lighthearted with them. Things like Sandstorm is based off of kind of like an inside joke on Twitch where you have do as an emote and Darude Sandstorm.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that. It's just really fun to do, right? It's just embracing the fact that like. This game is really meant to be played with like a community and a group of people, and we're kind of like all celebrating the fact that we love games, and that like that's kind of like what we kind of went for with both the kind of like with the backstory of the game, with a lot of like the kind of like we tried to make some homages here to things like Pac-Man and to other like really classic games as far as the way we're doing the stuff, a lot of the sound effects and things like that, and so that's very much intended to be there so that we can all so that everyone can kind of enjoy that flavor.
Okay. Oh, yeah, looks like I got him. So these ghosts too. What's up with this mechanic?
Yeah, so this came right out of playtesting. We were doing a lot of playtesting, and basically one of the key pieces of feedback was like, man, if I'm the first person to die in a match, it's really boring. Because I have nothing to do for the next 3 minutes while I wait for like the match to finish up. And so we decided like, okay, like what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to, we're going to try to like, let's find a way to keep people involved even though they've been eliminated. And so we wanted to keep elimination because elimination is really fun to watch. It's really easy to watch escalation as you like get fewer and fewer people, and then sudden death feels really good. So we didn't want to lose that, but we also like wanted to give players something to do so that they weren't just like basically AFKing as soon as they got eliminated, even if it was like 10 seconds into the match. And so so the ghosts as they stand right now, and we're still experimenting with a lot of this stuff, so there's total possibility that the ghost gameplay will change. We've tried all sorts of things with this. Right now you come back as a ghost, and what you can do is you can punch other runners and stun them, and so in this case you could like knock them into the lava, or on the Long Wharf map I mentioned, you can punch people into the water and eliminate them. But you can't really come back to win. So if you've been eliminated, you like don't really have a way to do it. You have to kind of like help the hunter, like by either standing over those large point drops, like the death orbs that drop when someone dies, or by standing, or by just like hunting down the person that's in first place and sort of punching them. And so it's that. But that was one of the things. Like that was one of the things that we heard a ton in playtesting, was just like people being people basically like. There was a bunch of ideas floated. It was like, hey, like, why don't you just turn the stream on? Can you like embed the stream so that like once I'm eliminated, I go back to watching the stream? And And that was kind of cool because a lot of people were doing that, and since you're on a delay on Twitch, you would see yourself get eliminated and watch the reaction there, and like that's definitely fun. But we're also trying to think about what is this game like in an offline scenario, because we do want we don't want to make it required that people live stream it. So like, how can we still make it fun and engaging for those people as well, without really sacrificing the things we like about things like elimination, So just letting people respawn means that like the hunter doesn't feel nearly as cool, and like you don't have this sort of natural beginning, middle, and end to each round. And so it's been a lot of balancing that, and that's kind of been one of the key lessons learned from a game design standpoint, is making a game like this. Normally you just care about making it as fun as possible for players, but actually for a game like this one, you care about making it fun for the broadcaster, because they put on a better show when they're having fun, and you care about making it exciting and interesting for viewers as well. And so you're sort of balancing this like three-headed beast. So things like Crabcore, for example, are not that fun as a player, but they're super funny to watch as a viewer. And so we try to balance that by making it really short. So like Crabcore is really short, so it doesn't necessarily like ruin the game, when it happens, but it also is still in there because viewers find it fun.
That was a good last little fight there.
Can't dodge, you're pogoing.
Yeah, it's so difficult when you hit the pogo on it. You are a good dodger. I'm still trying to get used to the Q&E dodges. And you had said it's a lot of fun to, like you said, kind of test out these things. And when you're testing these, you also have to be live, don't you? Because you're on Twitch too, so you have kind of a transparent QA play testing process. What's that like?
Yeah, that's definitely been, I think, a growing. It took some time to feel comfortable with that. It was a lot of how can we, we need to be comfortable showing stuff that's not done and getting feedback, and a lot of this came down to, and I was actually surprised, especially with the other communities that we've worked with, like other broadcasters, that their fans understand that the game's in alpha, and they're cool with that, and they're totally like, wow, this game's in alpha, like that's so cool, and they can get over the bumps and warts and everything that the game has. But it has been a like total like learning experience for us to be really open about what we're building and to kind of show a little bit more of like how the sausage gets made. But it's been, I think, super rewarding. And I think even if we weren't doing a game like this, we've always been really open as a studio. And I think it's really benefited us because it means that people have the, viewers, like players and fans have the opportunity to really see what we're doing and kind of get that personal connection. And sort of like, I think people are growing more and more to care about who makes the stuff they like. I think sort of like the Kickstarter sort of behind the scenes look of things has just kind of grown on people. And so people care a lot more about that. And that's what's driven us to be really open about it. And it's nice because we're able to share a lot of stuff and get feedback super early. We're independent, so we're not, like a publicly traded company where that would be potentially a problem. And so we're able to share that stuff and hear really quickly from both broadcasters and from fans, like if that's exciting to them, if what we're doing is interesting.
Yeah, I could definitely see how that really helps, not just do bug testing, but also get general ideas and weigh how people feel about things as you're doing it. And, I know as game developers, sometimes we can get kind of put on the blinders ourselves and we're just like, oh, balance this one thing, whatever it takes. And, a user can come in there and say, well, just get rid of it or something. Or they come up with something we wouldn't think of because, of course, that's not how we think as designers.
Yeah, absolutely. And like a lot of the time, it's like things that we like use cases. In this case, it's like things that we didn't really, we sort of underestimated how much broadcasters wanted to customize stuff, like to really match their own thing. And like, a lot of that, some of that was like in the character customization side, but it was like, is there a way for me to put my emotes in the game? Can I like do some stuff to really make it feel like it's, like it's my community? Because my community has we have our own specific feel. We have our own specific things that we really like. And that was like really interesting. It wasn't even something we thought of, it wasn't even like, oh, like let's, we didn't really think about, would broadcasters want to put their own, billboards in the game with their logos or stuff like that to really kind of like brand it in that way. But it makes total sense, like now that we've talked about it with them. And so that's a lot of the value too of like, like you said, like being open and just doing a lot of play tests is you find things like that you have a total blind spot for, because yeah, we have a Twitch channel. We stream on it like every day during the week. But we're not. We only have a couple thousand followers. We're not. We don't have like hundreds of thousands. So a lot of the issues that, and we're also not trying to do it to make a living. So I think when you need to find those people and hear what they're doing to what their problems are, because they're going to be different from anything that we could possibly know.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's really great to know that there's just like such an active and caring community out there. Oh, and I am so tiny.
Shrink ray.
Shrink rate. Yeah, it's always another thing is since I've only going to play this a few times just before the stream and whatnot, but there's so many game modes. It just feels like I'm going to keep finding more and more as we go through. Do you actually change anything in the maps for when you're tinier? That like only when you're tiny can you do X?
There's definitely areas of the map that you can reach when you're tiny, much easier. Normally, the just as a game design thing, the actual shrink ray height is the same as your crouch height, so that you can't ever get stuck. So you can slide through. Yes, exactly. So you can slide through stuff, but it's like way easier when you can run and boost to kind of get through that. So, but yeah, and the real interesting thing is when the rules overlap, right? When you have like, I think someone was mentioning in chat about like concrete shoes and floor is lava being like really painful, and it's like that to me is a lot of fun when like that sort of stuff happens, when you can get, because if you buy, if like viewers purchase all the rules for a round at the beginning, you can actually be in a state where you have like 5 active rules at once, which is like really crazy and fun. And I think like that's definitely an entertaining like part of the game, is seeing how those rules interact in interesting ways. Like moon boots, which we haven't gotten too much here, like moon boots and pogo, for example, is like a really funny one, because you're just like floating, and then as soon as you touch the ground you float again. So eliminated first.
Yeah, you came right at me, dude. I don't know what you expected to happen. I'm having a hard time not doing my normal yelling at the screen when I play a game, so just trying to hone it all in. It just feels so great.
The nice thing about playtesting with broadcasters is that we have video of the playtest that we can like always go back to, because it's just like archived on their Twitch stream, so we can always go back and be like, oh, like what did that, and they're pretty genuine on stream, right? Like they won't sugarcoat it at all. If they don't like your game, they will just stop. So that's like really helpful to have for playtesting reasons.
Yeah, definitely can see that. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So we have the concrete shoes on again, and we've also got on moon boots. Yeah. So the concrete shoes seem to totally destroy the moon boots.
I think they do right now.
Oh, double kill. Yeah. And just that satisfying feeling of haha, I caught you, and all that. The chase is a lot of fun, and I'm sure being chased and getting away from. I just got punched again. That's gotta also be pretty fun. Do you get points for punching me?
You do. You get a special badge called Poke the Bear that is worth a good amount of points. You actually get points for getting close to the hunter and then away from them. So if you can like get close to them and then get away, you get like a bonus for that as well. So you get bonuses for a wide variety of things. Doing really long wall runs, doing like a lot of sprinting, staying in the air, like hang time, you get points for. So there's a variety of ways to get points that are not just collecting them. You can also do like various sort of like skill moves, I guess, to get them as well.
I'm just getting destroyed out here. Yeah, those moves are cool. So I see the ghosts are helping me knock them out. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, the ghosts are good at doing that.
Help me find Aller. I think he's. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So there's like special in-game badge, like little badge awards that you can get.
Yeah, so you get them too, and then that's what viewers are using to play bingo. Is like they see those as well.
Oh, okay. So that's part of like the bingo thing, is you get the badges of certain type.
Right, and then like viewers use that way, but like runners get points based on that, and then one of the features that we're adding coming up is basically hunters. Hunters will eventually get a grade, and that will be based on the bonuses you get. So if you get a lot of like quadruple kills and things like that, you'll get a better score at the end and more XP.
Oh wow. That makes a lot of sense then. Like as you said, you're still adding in more features to it, so that's really cool. Oh, okay, what is it? Oh, perpetual motion. I can only move forward.
You always have to move forward. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. back here. We're just like dodging around each other. Oh, the ghosts are making it really hard to see him. Oh,
There we go.
yeah, there we go. That was tough. It looks like they got him. Goodness. Amzanity. That's an incredible score. Look at that, 34, 643.
Look at all those stolen points.
He's good. Very good. So let's see here. We got some questions from the chat also.
Cool.
They want to know the movie files. It looks like they dug through the files in the game. We've been giving out codes during this so that you all can play along, and actually I just added in a whole batch of people for this match. So, yeah, they're wondering about they said they found movie files in the folders somewhere. Are those Easter eggs, or are those going to get added into the game?
I don't know. I don't know what those files are. They might be some of the stuff that we actually have on like the billboards and stuff in here. I'm not exactly sure how we're, what sort of file format we're using for some of the stuff. Like if you look, like, you know, there's like an I am bagel thing. There's space bloops. There's like a bunch of fake games in here.
Oh, that
so
explains it, because I saw, yeah, like, I'm just gonna take a second to let them run around. But yeah, I can see over here, there's like all these fake games. I am bagel. I would love to play I am bagel. Sounds good. Oh, is this
So,
like?
yes.
Oh, it's like I am toast.
I am bread.
Oh, I am bread.
I am
That's
bread.
it. I am bagel. That's the sequel. Got a Space Invaders thing going on here. Where did they go? And then this kind of like Twitch watch. That's great. I love the Twitch knockoff. Oh goodness, the springs. I'm trying to catch you, Nick. I'm gonna get you. Wow.
See a lot of people in their underwear.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it, and they're like, "Oh, we're all gonna do that because it'll just bother us." It doesn't bother me, guys. Go right ahead. Oh. Haha. Kitatus got stuck trying to do a slide. Grabbed him there. Yeah, this is pretty fun. Oh goodness. As the match goes on and things get a little bit more wild with the ghosts running around everywhere, you had said before when we were playing with just a handful, just us actually, that it's crazier and crazier. When you get above 8 people, you said, is kind of like the best.
Yeah, I think the sort of sweet spot is like, you know, 8 to 15 people. Like 15 people is a lot of fun because it's just like crazy. You know, there's a lot of people going around everywhere. It also, like, you know, somewhat dependent on the map. Like this map, you know, there is a little bit more verticality. Something like the playground one I mentioned, like is a little bit smaller. So with 15 people, it's like, you know, you're seeing people everywhere, and ghosts are like, you know, there's a wild band of ghosts chasing around whoever's still alive, trying to punch them. So it's yeah.
It is pretty intense to see them all running around. I feel like I can just kind of chill out and let them do my dirty work for me. Go.
Yeah, they definitely will. Yeah.
Take that, living.
Is that
Oh,
two
wow.
with one? That's 2 with 1 shot.
Oh goodness. Wait, where is everybody? Is there anyone even left? Oh. Oh, that was a
Yep.
ghost.
One
See,
person.
I see. Oh. Someone up there. Who is that? Wow, goodness. Victor Burgos. Nice job surviving all of that, buddy. Wow. Yeah, this is crazy fun, and I love to see that the chat's actually getting to throw stuff around at us. Awesome. So let's see here. Is modding the game in the works or possible already?
So we don't have modding in the game yet. We're definitely it's a bunch of people have brought that up, and I think this goes a little bit into what the you know, broadcasters wanting to do stuff. Like a lot of people are like, man, I'd love to make a map that like we could all play that's based off of, you know, some inside joke that like the community has. I think it'd definitely be really cool. It's something that we've talked about a bunch. We have not started it yet. We're very much in the process of like making, still in beta here, but I think it would be awesome. Like I love the idea of letting people, you know, kind of come up with their own game modes and their own maps, which I think would be really cool to do.
Awesome. Well, let's see here. I think I'm probably going to say, since we're coming up on time here, I'm gonna let everybody know I'm probably gonna keep playing for just another round after everything's done. So if you're already playing, or if you're already watching or spectating, we'll keep going for another minute. But before we let you go, is there anywhere? Where can we find out more about Streamline and all of the other games for Proletariat?
So you can go to proletariat.com, or if you want to see specifically Streamline, you can go to playstreamline.com. You can also check out our Twitch channel, which we stream pretty regularly on. We do 2 playtests a week on Streamline, so Tuesdays and Fridays, 3 to 5. And we give out keys during that time too. So if you didn't get a key today and you definitely want to try out the game, you can come by one of those and we give keys out. And we play with anyone who's around during those streams. So
Awesome.
you should definitely check that out.
Cool. So yeah, that's it. Check out Streamline. Check out Proletariat's games. They were a lot of fun. We had a great time today. Got to learn a lot about making a game for Twitch and all the experiences behind that. Let's see here. So for next week, just want to let everybody know that we're back to our regular schedule. We had a really interesting week this week for Paragon's beta release. We had to skip the training stream on Tuesday, but next Tuesday we'll have the training stream and all that back again. It's going to be a lot of fun. So join us then. For anybody who wants to hang out with Proletariat, I'm probably going to play for another minute, but I won't be. But yeah, probably won't be streaming it out here through Unreal Engine just to have some fun. But thanks so much, Seth, for coming on and hanging out and answering all of my questions. So it's been really great having you.
Cool, yeah, and if folks have specific questions on Streamline, any of the tech stuff there, or any of the questions about stream mode, or interested in hearing more about the tech that's involved there, definitely you can either shoot me a message on Twitch here. I'm just SJ Sivak, or you can email us just at dev@proletariat.com if you have questions about that.
Awesome. Yeah. So reach out, guys, and if you feel like what you saw, go play Streamline. It's pretty fun. So we'll see you all around later.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Bye.